What's up, Taiwan? I'm Laurel Stewart with the news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The Coast Guard is conducting its largest annual exercise in the southern port of Kaohsiung, simulating how Taiwan would enforce the law to protect against enemy ships. Jaime Ocon reports.
特勤人员已成功压制歹徒，请给予特勤人员掌声鼓励。
Here in Kaohsiung, which is Taiwan's largest port, the Coast Guard, the military, and local law enforcement are getting together to demonstrate how they would intercept a hijacked ship. Now, in this demonstration, it's one of Taiwan's own Coast Guard ships that were hijacked, and so Taiwan is demonstrating how it would take it back. These exercises are known as Haiyan. They're annual exercises focusing on maritime and port security. These patrol boats and helicopters aim to quickly swoop in and intercept these rogue ships. Other elements of the drill also focus on rescuing hostages. But this year's exercise is bigger than usual and involves more people, systems, and government agencies all working together. That's something that President Lai Ching-te says is needed in a changing security environment.
台湾更面临到来自中国持续不断的灰色侵扰，而我们的海巡同仁始终站在第一线，坚定执法。无论是打击犯罪、查缉走私，或救生救难。
The Haiyan exercises come as Taiwan, specifically its Coast Guard, faces a surge in gray zone activity and aggression from China. Chinese Coast Guard ships and fishing vessels continue to breach restricted waters around the outlying islands of Jinmen on almost a weekly basis. And that's prompted Taiwan to focus more on how it would respond to Chinese pressure from Beijing's so-called shadow fleet.
那么现在应对中国这种所谓的这种 shadow fleet 的这个威胁的话，我想海巡未来应该要再增加他们总体的这个能力capability， 特别是所谓的这 Maritime surveillance.
The Coast Guard was recently criticized after a man from China allegedly crossed the Taiwan Strait on a rubber boat and landed on Taiwan's main island, many concerned about shortcomings in radar systems. That's why officials here are now looking to fill those gaps with helicopters, the thought being with more eyes in the sky, it will be better equipped for Taiwan to respond.
那台湾面对中国威胁，不管是快艇渗透啦，或是其他做法，你用陆地或船舰的雷达看的距离 range 很短，一定要像这个预警机、海洋巡逻机，这个从上往下看，才可以真正有一个我们说的这个比较完整的一个 picture。
The Coast Guard also says it will continue to work with the military and law enforcement to share the burden. Now, while this exercise is just a demonstration, it does offer a glimpse into how Taiwan protects its waterways and its maritime borders. But because it is World Oceans Day, officials here say it's a perfect time to demonstrate to the public how committed Taiwan is to protecting its waterways. John Su and Jaime Ocon in Kaohsiung for TaiwanPlus.
Efforts to recall 2 lawmakers from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party have failed, bringing the opposition Kuomintang's total number of unsuccessful recall attempts to 8.
老骥伏枥，志在千里。虽然我们这一次没有办法达标，但是我相信我们这边的联署书已经充分反映了中正万华的民众对这个执政党的愤怒与不满。
One KMT-backed petition targeted DPP legislator Wu Siyao was rejected because the petition's official leader failed to appear in person when submitting the documents, as is required by law. Another, aimed at recalling DPP lawmaker Wu Pei-yi, didn't get enough signatures before the deadline. In response, Wu Pei-yi apologized to her constituents.
这段时间，因为我的关系，也给中华的市民带来了一些打扰，我也感到很抱歉。那我希望可以赶快来恢复平静，那我们好好的为大家人民的福利来做事。
The Central Election Commission says it will announce its decisions later this month on 31 other recall petitions against Kuomintang lawmakers. Recall efforts are currently underway against members of both major parties. Taiwan may be looking to Alaska for its future energy needs as the government considers joining a project the US Trump administration is championing. Presidential Secretary General Pan Min-an is in the US for an energy conference, visiting the area in Alaska the gas would come from. It's unclear whether Pan signed any deals, but Taiwan has greenlit a non-binding agreement to invest in the project. The US hopes the plan will shrink trade deficits with Asian allies and create more direct shipping trade route to Asia. Hundreds of advocates are calling for better ocean protections ahead of the UN Ocean Conference on Monday. The Blue March in Nice brought together members of the public and dozens of NGOs. The event celebrated ocean life and condemned destructive practices like bottom trawling. The UN Ocean Conference is set to discuss key issues like sustainable fisheries and cutting down marine pollution.
Nous, on attend de cette conférence que les dirigeants prennent des mesures concrètes sur la protection des océans. Notamment en France, on est en retard et on a des aires marines protégées qui ne sont pas réellement protégées. Et c'est là, aujourd'hui, nous, la mesure phare que l'on souhaitait faire passer à travers cette marche, d'avoir des aires marines qui soient réellement protégées.
The UN Ocean Conference will take place from June 9th to the 13th. Taiwan's coral reefs are among the most diverse in the world, but they're in trouble. The US Ocean Agency has put southern Taiwan on its highest heat stress alert level, with coral bleaching already being reported. On World Oceans Day, our reporter Laurel spoke to Tung-yung, who's been studying Taiwan's coral for 40 years, to find out what's happening beneath the surface.
Taiwan is an island nation. Its marine environment is essential to its ecosystems. But some climate change reports are saying that almost all of the world's coral could be destroyed by 2050, mainly due to bleaching. Can you tell us how serious this threat is?
In Taiwan, the marine heat wave recently became very serious. So it almost occurred every 2 years. Many of the coral reefs, although bleached, but they recovered very soon. And also typhoon, like last year, typhoon and marine heat wave caused southern Taiwan heavily damaged. But some coral reefs like Green Island, Orchid Island, we just conduct the survey and they look fine. We still have almost 25 years will be prepared. But so far, I think the coral reefs in Taiwan generally remain quite stable and good. And although some damaged, but some coral reefs even better. And not only we have the coral study in the field, we also conduct the restoration. So right now we have 3 sites. We established the heat-resilient coral nursery under the sea.
So bleaching is caused by rising ocean temperatures. Can you tell us what else is threatening coral reefs?
Many of the coral reefs degraded, majorly due to the human disturbance, like the overfishing, coast development, pollution, sedimentation. For example, like the Xiaoliuqiu, the only one coral reefs in Taiwan. It's the best coral reef in 1960, but it's the worst recently because this small island overdeveloped, overfished.
25% of marine life relies on healthy coral reefs. Can you tell us what kind of impact we'd see if we did lose our reefs?
Coral reefs is the highest value ecosystem on Earth because it provides the coastal protection and provide fishery and tourism. I think coral reefs is the treasure for Taiwan and in the world. So we are working very hard to protect them, to work with them, to acclimatize and adapt the climate change.
That was Tung-yung from Taiwan's National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium. Los Angeles has seen a second day of clashes between security agents and protesters opposed to US President Donald Trump's immigration raids.
It is a beautiful day of resistance because Trump, the administration, the Border Patrol, ICE, they know that they cannot go anywhere in this country where our people are and try to kidnap our workers, our people, and they can't do that without an organized and fierce resistance, and that's what they encountered here today.
Trump administration officials have described the protests as a riot or insurrection. ICE, the US Immigration Enforcement Agency, has a goal of 3,000 migrant arrests per day, but arrests have included residents lawfully in the US, leading to legal challenges. Taiwan's indigenous Kavalan people have a unique weaving technique that's at risk of disappearing. To keep this tradition alive, one woman is on a mission. Our reporter Sandy Chi went to meet her at her workshop in eastern Taiwan.
86-year-old Yan Yuying has been practicing traditional banana fiber weaving for decades, making hats, bags, and clothes. This skill has been passed down through generations in her indigenous Kavalan community, known as Nitenunan Tupanina in the Kavalan language. This traditional craft is now on the brink of disappearing. Banana fiber weaving demands a lot of patience and unwavering determination. But for Yan, every moment working on her craft is worth it, because she's driven by a powerful sense of purpose. The process begins with stripping the bark of a felled banana tree layer by layer. The fiber is then washed and dried, and then wound together to make long threads. Only then does the weaving begin, the most difficult part.
在织布的时候断掉，你要找那个线路要接，那时候最困难的。那个很密嘛，这样密的，你要慢慢找，去找过来接。你接的别的地方也是不行的，织不起来。
The technique has caught the attention of designer Justin Zhou. He invited Yan to contribute to the opening ceremony uniforms for Taiwan's athletes at the 2024 Paris Olympics, bringing this traditional technique to the world stage.
希望这次有个概念是把最好的东西，包括这个香蕉丝，这个挑织的图案，所以也希望能够把最好的东西给代表台湾的运动员，在巴黎的时候被大家给看见。
很感动，我说哇，这有一天这个香蕉丝到国外那边去。
Though banana fiber weaving has made it to the world stage, very few people are willing to learn the technique. Today, Yan only has 3 young apprentices learning from her. Among them is Pan Yanxing, who is also part of the Kavalan community.
小时候的时候就是阿嬷有在做编织，然后长大之后才发现说，哦，原来我们噶玛兰有橡胶丝工艺，就是全台就只有我们。 这个族群有这个很独特的工艺，所以就想说，如果有机会的话，就来学学看。
For Pan, she says she learned more than a traditional art form from Yan. She also learned a valuable life lesson.
你没有沾水？有啊，有。
就是严老师他，除了是一位工艺师之外，也是一位母亲，然后也是就是要负担家里的可能，温暖啊，因为他要。 织布嘛，织布衣服让家人有可以比较温暖一点，有衣服可以穿，然后又要帮忙煮菜啊，做家事这样子，然后是一位就是非常多能的女性这样子，所以会觉得说，哎，噶玛兰族的女性跟香蕉丝一样很有韧性。
Yan is recognized as a living national treasure in Taiwan, one of the very few people still dedicated to preserving this fading craft. Yan continues to serve as a guardian of tradition, hoping to pass the technique down to future generations. Chris Ma, Joseph Wu, and Sanichi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, let's take a look at these inflatable art installations in Paris. I'm Laurel Stewart. Take care and see you next time.